It'd be a great parenting magazine.
Okay, I think we are live. Of course, it's always a shock every single time. Is anybody on our page to see us live?
We're here. We're live.
We're live.
Okay, hi everybody. We are live today. It is August 31st. It's unfathomable. I mean, what does that even mean? I felt that way every single day since COVID started. Like where does the time go? I don't know. It's a Groundhog's Day experience. It just feels the same every day. And then all of a sudden tomorrow is September. So today, today we are going to talk about the last thing we did before COVID shut down the world. So mine's an easy one because my son got married on March 1st. And that we spent a weekend in New York together. With the weekend was about 110 people shoved into a restaurant for 2 meals, and the wedding was 275 people. And when we see pictures of it, there is this recoiling of like, how can that happen? Because we can't even remember a time when it could happen. So the wedding video was really unnerving when everyone was watching it. They were like, oh my God, you want to go like, stop, you shouldn't be doing that. And in fact, we didn't know yet, but you actually shouldn't have been doing it then because it was already in the United States. There already were, and literally like 4 days later, people were getting notifications of flights that they had taken that had people who had tested positive. And so March 1st, like the end of normalcy as we knew it for my family. Okay, let's go to Jessica.
So I mean, me and my friends used to meet up for various lunches and dinners, just every time we could get, because our schedules are very different. So I still vividly remember we went to me and my best friend went to a burger place, and we were discussing like, is this like really serious? I don't know. Let's just go out to eat and try to figure it out. And as we were leaving the burger place, I get the like an alert from my mother who's just like, hey, Governor DeWine shut down all of the restaurants as of like right now. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're not going back there anymore. And I haven't been out to eat since.
It's almost like a fire alarm was set and everybody's supposed to run.
It's crazy. Am I calling who's next? I'll go with Emily.
So my daughter and I flew to Nashville for a weekend. This was late February, and visited my cousin and her 7-week-old baby. And we went to an art museum, saw an Eric Carle exhibit, and we went to restaurants, and we went on a couple of touristy tour things, and we went shopping. So that feels like the last really celebratory, normal thing that we did. And we can't wait to be doing those things again. I will call on Sharon.
Okay. So I went out to lunch with my husband in a restaurant. It was March 11th. I looked at my calendar and I saw where it was written. And I remember that day, it was already a little weird. Like there weren't that many people in the restaurant and we were sitting kind of far apart from each other, but my kids were still in school. And I had this strange feeling like as if a hurricane's coming and it's not quite there yet. And we had this feeling that maybe this would be the last time, but we were still able to enjoy ourselves for then. And then the next day school was canceled. So it had begun. Eka?
So the last thing I did that was normal, which now it seems so weird, is my husband and I drove across the border into Canada to visit some of our favorite wineries and buy some wine, which I'm so glad we did. But now with everything closed, especially the borders, it just seems like surreal that we were able to do that. And that was the weekend right before everything shut down. So that's, and I'm so glad we bought that wine, by the way. So, Mindy?
I too, the last thing I did, I too was in New York City the same weekend as Sue's son got married, but I was not at the wedding with Sue. You and I still need to discuss. However, just kidding. I was in New York City with my husband, and I do remember asking a friend, funny, to bring a can of Lysol spray for the hotel because they were starting to talk about it. And I was like, okay, before we go in, let's at least spray down the room. And I also remember coming back to Ohio. It was like midweek, Tuesday or Wednesday, and security was dead. Like I walked through it and no one was there. And I do remember feeling a little bit creeped out, like something was wrong. So yeah, that was, and last time I flew back then. So who's left? Jen?
Yeah, on March 7th, I went to a gala fundraiser with 600 people. I was wearing a long blue gown and silver sparkly shoes and full makeup. And just yesterday, I took that dress to the cleaners and I was like, hi, I might never need you again. And I had this clear recollection of is the kind of place, it's kind of a fundraiser where you sit at a group table and it's buffet style dining, all these things that just can't happen right now. And a friend of mine who ended up sitting at my table before we ate, she offered me some hand sanitizer. And I was like, oh, that's interesting that you carry that with you. She's like, I think she knew what was going on. And she said, don't pass up this opportunity. Have some. And I was like, oh, okay. She could probably have sold that tiny bottle for like $100 the next week. So that was my last fun outing that I remember prior to COVID. Jody, did you go yet? I don't think you did.
I did not. They could have auctioned that hand sanitizer for big bucks. So.
No kidding, right?
So I was actually in California where we had to actually have a hard decision about whether we were going to go, but we were seeing family and friends, and my son was meeting us there, and my daughter goes to school there, and we spent a glorious day at Joshua Tree National Park. My daughter had class and work all day, so my son and my husband and I went to the park and we're walking around and taking pictures, and we just had a great day. And there's no cell service in most of the park. And on the way back, he got texts that he was a senior in college, that his school was going to be shutting down for a little while. And then the next day, my daughter found out that her school was closing. So it went from a lovely family vacation week to kind of the week from hell. And then, we had to fly back at the end of the week in total panic and everything else. But yeah, but those moments at Joshua Tree are really the last kind of piece where we're just having a good time. So whatever. So.
Okay, I'm going to tell you that we have some comments here from some of the people that are watching. Lori's daughter snuck in an SAT test.
Oh,
that was really lucky. And then let's see, we've got a few more. Where are they? Oh, watched my son sing. This is Margaret. She watched her son sing with an junior honor choir in the first weekend of March. That's also like that feels like another life. Kelly was in the midst of getting ready for her daughter's high school soccer season. She's one of the team's managers. Yeah, that's a real loss. And let's see, the rest is just telling us who else is watching. But if you're watching and you want to add into the comments, we'd love to hear what everyone was doing when they realized that the world was coming to a very abrupt and scary halt. So thanks everybody for watching us, and we will see you all next week.
Bye, everybody.